So continuing from last day, let's look at Malik. So the first one it says is tax-free savings, 2.2%. I would probably underline compounded monthly, and we're starting out with, there's our principal. Okay. So it's going to be, divide this kind of, well, I'm not going to write lines just yet. I'm going to go A equals P bracket 1 plus little I to the N. They want the final amount. Let's see if I can go straight to plugging in numbers. In that first situation, what's the principal? How much are we starting out with? What does it say? 5,600? 1 plus, what's the interest rate? 0.02. 2 compounded monthly divided by 12. And then, Jordan, how many years are we in for? What did we say? Remember? 10. Compounded monthly, I think that's going to be 120. Yes? 12 times 10. So I can figure out how much she's going to have in that particular account. It's going to be 5,600 times bracket 1 plus 0.022 divided by 12, close bracket, to the power of 120. Looks like she'll have $6,976.62. 697662. 697662. And Christina, I think since this is a number I'm going to use later, I'll put a box, because we're going to have a lot of work. I always put boxes around important numbers so I can spot them easier. By the way, how much of that is interest? Well, if I go $6,976.62, take away 5,600, whatever we're above and beyond is the interest. All right. The second one, I'm going to try and use my typing trick here again. So we're going to have n equals... the second one is the purchase each year of a 10-year compounded annually. So if it's compounded annually for 10 years, what's n? 10. And I'm having to use my financial because it looks like she's purchasing each year, she's paying each year. So since there's more than one payment, I got to somehow use my graphing calculator. What's the interest rate as a percentage? It says 3.6. What's the next? Is the next thing principal? Is that right? Present value, which is principal, equals, looks like she's starting with 0. And is payment the next one? I haven't memorized the order because I normally would just look at my calculator. Her payment is 500 bucks. Final value, I'm going to leave blank. Oh. Is it compound per year or payments per year? Payments per year? Annually? And compound periods per year? Annually. Go to my calculator. Menu. Compound interest, 10, 3.6, 0, 500, don't know, put a temporary 0 in, 1, I want final value, which is F5. We're going to ignore the negative. We said your calculator assumes you're taking out money. Do you get 589288? 589288? 5892.88. I'll boldface and underline that because I can. Then we have a third one. And this one we're also doing payments, yes? So n equals compounded monthly. 10 years compounded monthly, 120, right? I think. I percent 1.6. Mr. Dueck, why would she have a 1.6% when she can have 3.6% over here? This one here might have some risk, or there could be some fees, or it just could be more awkward to do this kind of a payment. Generally, you want as big a percent return as you can, but I think I've told you, if you're actually investing, the higher your rate of return, usually the bigger your risk. In fact, if you want to double your money, you can buy penny stocks, stocks that are worth 8 or 9 cents, because it's fairly easy for a stock that's at 8 cents to go up by 8 cents and be worth 16 cents, and you've just doubled your money. But it's also really easy for an 8-cent stock to go down to 1 cent, and you've lost almost all of your money. Where an Apple share, which is about, I think they're about $350 right now, if that loses 20 cents, really not much has changed out of that $350. They're much more stable. You're not going to get as big a rate of return. Yep.
Why did you go and do it that way and not the 8
Are we doing payments regularly? Read the situation. Are there repeated payments of money, putting it in?
Is it when she saves $200?
Every what? That means we're adding more money every month, every month, every month. Then we have to go to our graphing calculator. We're going to have a payment. Is that okay? We're going to start off with, I think, 0. What's the payment, Brooke? $200 a month. Final value, I don't know. I'll leave it blank. Oh, need to do that. Payments per year. Brooke, how often is she doing these payments? So what am I going to put here? Yep. And it's also compounded monthly, yes? I think I said last day that I noticed that they always have the compound period and the payments the same. I don't know if that has to be on our calculators or not. I'm trying to find out. I just noticed every example seems to do that, which seems kind of boring, but okay. Let's go to my calculator. Repeat. Go to the very, very top. 120, 1.6, 0, 200, 0, 12, 12. Final value, ignore the negative. Do you get 26,007, James Bond, 0.87? 26,007.87? Is that okay so far, Connor? All right, that's not what this question wanted. This question wanted us to find the rate of return. The rate of return is going to be how much interest divided by how much invested. So you ready? We got to do some calculating. Over here, we're going to have amount invested. In this first one that I wrote in blue ink, how much money did she dump in? I think it's just a single time payment. How much, Roy? In this second one, we're doing regular payments. Christina, in this second one, how much was one payment? How many times? $5,000, yes. So if you want to type that, fine. But I'm trying to show work so you know what the heck we did. In this third one, how much was one payment? 200 times, how many times? 120 times. Oh, she also earned she also invested $34,600, the same amount as her friend. Let's see if she did better or if she did worse. Let's see if I can also get this on the same line. Hey, I can. There we go. That's how much she invested. How much did she earn for, how much did she withdraw? Well, she had in the first one $6,976.62. In the second one, she had $5,892.88. And in the third one, she had 26,007, whoop, too many, 87. It looks like she withdrew that much. Is that right? I can already see she hasn't made as much as her friend, because her friend made it was like 41,000 or something like that for Jason, wasn't it? So she hasn't made it. She hasn't done as well. What's her rate of return? Well, her rate of return, we need to find the interest earned. That's going to be amount invested, takeaway. Sorry, let's try that again. Amount withdrawn, takeaway, amount invested. Invested. Brooke, she withdrew that much, she invested that much. I'm going to subtract these. That's going to tell me how much she earned in interest. Is that okay? So let's write that down. Interest is going to be $38,877.37. Takeaway, $34,600. She earned $4,277.37. Let's change that into a rate of return. So Jason had a 16.5% rate of return. How do we change this into a rate of return? This is just the same as figuring out a percentage on a test score. You earned that much. You put in that much. You got this many questions right. Out of that many questions, we're going to divide times 100%. Yep. It's going to be $4,277.37 divided by how much she put in, $34,600 times 100%. Menu, let's go back to the run menu. What are the numbers? $4,277.37 divided by 34,600 times 100 to make it a percent. Looks like she got a 12.36% rate of return. Is that okay, Ellen? Who did better? What was Jason's rate of return? 16. So let's do a final little statement here. Jason's rate of return. What was it? 16.52% was better. Again, both of those are pretty good, though, in today's economy. Okay. I threw a lot at you. What questions do I think you can try? So right now I assigned number 2 and number 3. Let me look here. I'm going to say 5A. No, I'll do 5. 5B wants you to make a prediction. I find these very difficult to predict because there's lots of exponents and things, but it also says calculate the numbers. So in 5B, calculate. Is that a hand up or no? Okay, just stretching. Number 93 is out of place? Yeah, you got it back there? There you go. Is 6 any good? Number 6 has 3 separate situations. I think you can handle it. Let me double check. $500 each year. You know what? I'm going to nuke number 6. That's a little complicated. Suppose, will she have enough? Sure, I'm going to go with 8, going on a trip. Nine is good. She wants to invest the 200. You know what? I think I'm going to partly pause there, but I'm going to add one more question on page 68. Number 1A. And 3. Okay. So page 64, 2, 3, 5, 8, and 9. Page 68. Is it really page 64? Yeah, it starts on page 64, sort of. Page 68, 1A and 3.